What's up, everybody? Raf here, sitting here with the one and only Linda Agosto. Say what's up, Lynn.
Hello, everybody.
That's not what's up.
Hello, everybody.
All right, she's gonna be subdued for a minute, but okay, she'll come back. We're sitting here. We're just talking about 2020, and 2020 has brought a lot of firsts for many of us, and I'm sure many of you out there. And we're talking about just different things that are going on. And we figured we'd drop a video on you. We haven't done this before, so it's the first time. So here we go. It's organic. It's about challenges. We hope to inspire some people. We hope to honestly inspire ourselves as we go through stuff and talk about it and put it up on social media. So follow me at Bronx Underdog. Follow Linda at Linda Agosto Music. And drop us a DM if you have any questions or just want to get in touch with us. You know, for us, it's just been a whirlwind relationship. For 32 years, we've been together since high school sweethearts. Here we sit here today, you know, parents, grandparents, and just overall down-to-earth people. But you know what? You go through challenges, you go through tests, you go through things. And we just want to have a conversation with y'all out there today. Lynn, what's up? What you got?
Well, you know, one of the questions that people have always asked me is that end up finding out that we are going through certain trials and tribulations, right? They always say, how do you keep like the smile on your face? I would have never known that you guys were going through that, you know? And I wanted to kind of share a little bit about how I go about being able to do that, you know? Obviously, it's not easy going through trials and tribulations, and 2020 has been quite challenging, to say the least. And it's not over yet, right? There's still a couple of days left in 2020. Nonetheless, I want to share with you guys a recent, I would say, conversation or prayer that I had onto the Lord, and I went into my garage and. As I normally do, I pray in my own home. I mean, it's one of the things that I find a room and I just go there and just talk to God as I am talking to you guys right now. But this particular day, I had some questions, right? And I'm in the garage in front of my fireplace. Yes, I do have a fireplace inside of my garage. Who does that? I do. Something about fire and kind of like prayer. That's my thing. That's my place. So I'm right in front of the fireplace and I begin to just pray. Have you ever prayed and you're going through something and then you hear nothing?
Crickets.
Nothing, right? Nothing comes out. And all of a sudden you pick up your word because, right, this is where he's going to speak to you now. You go through, it's worked before, nothing.
Nada.
You sit there and then you're like, yes. Any minute now, let me be still because he's going to give me a revelation. Sit there, time lapse, nothing.
Nothing.
And then all of a sudden, you're like, okay, Lord, let me open up my eyes because you're going to give me a vision, right? Because he has worked in that way before. At least for me, he does. So I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, I'm looking, nothing. So there I go again. I'm like, Lord, and I'm just pacing back and forth. And as I feel alone, I feel abandoned. I don't feel like, you're not talking to me more. Have I, I'm sure that this is probably resonating with a lot of you right now. If not, it probably will. Or maybe not. But nonetheless, and I begin to pray. And I get absolutely nothing. And maybe I'm spoiled in this sense, when it comes to this. Why do I say that? Because I'm so accustomed to, I would say 99% of the time that I pray, I get something, a revelation, a vision, a dream the following day. Someone brings a word to me or confirms something that I believe was dropped into my, but this time, like I said, nothing. Now, going through these trials and tribulations or whatever, many people turn to different kind of like ways of coping, right? We all have different coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
And, so one of the things, I remember one time, kind of hearing people say, oh, okay, well, I'll drink a glass of wine or whatever just to kind of lay back and relax. And, so I'm not going to lie. I did try it, right? I did do it. I did, and after kind of like drinking and doing all that, I thought to myself, okay. And I'm like, what did I get out of it? Nothing. My situation was still the same. Now I've had like this bitter taste in my mouth, and I'm drinking it, and I'm like thinking like, okay, well, yeah, this is gonna help me eventually. Did not. It didn't work for me. Sorry.
Wait, this isn't before you were saved, right? This is
me saved.
Oh, okay.
This is me saved.
Yes. All right. So that's a news bulletin. That's like breaking news. Yes.
Yeah. I did even kind of like share a margarita with someone maybe a couple of months ago, thinking like, okay, but it's just one of those things where, but nonetheless. So what happens? I go back to the only thing I know how to do, guys, and that's pray. Sorry, that's really that's the only thing I know how to do. Praise and worship, right? I don't need a band in front of me, a preacher to kind of get me going, and I don't know. I just kind of like
just tap in, man.
Yeah, it's funny because just recently our eldest son says to us, he says, "Mom, if it wasn't because I know you guys, I would think you guys were stoned." And I'm like, what?
Half the time he says that.
He's like, half the time I think you guys are stoned, but he goes, I'm like, I see you guys. I want whatever it is that you guys are on. I want that. And I'm like, dude, like, this is all it is. It's like I said, it's the only thing I know how to just go back and forth. So I'm in my garage, I'm praying, I'm going back and forth. And like I said, nothing's happening until finally I hear, take your test.
Say that again.
Take your test.
Okay.
That's all I needed.
All right.
See, whenever my thing is, I don't care what God says. I don't care if he says to me, you've done wrong or whatever, or, I don't care what he says. I just want to hear that he says something to me, right? I don't, I fear God, but at the same time, I need to know. Because I can't correct something that I don't know that's wrong, right? And I can't correct it based on what man tells me that's wrong. Been through that path so many times, and I've learned that others will tell you, oh, that's wrong, that's this, that's that. But then, you feel it in the spirit realm. It's like, no. And a lot of people are hurt because of that these days, because they're like, you can't wear pants. Because you're a woman. You can't dye your hair. You can't do your eyebrows. You can't
wait. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy, because that's a topic for another video. That's a topic.
I get that.
That's a topic for another video. When you talk about taking a test, when God dropped that on in your spirit, what was he talking about? Talk to me about what you felt when you walked out of that room. You felt something. You came and talked to me. What was it that you felt? What, for anybody that's out there right now, you're going through tests and trials, you're going through tribulations, God said you're in the middle of a test. So what does that mean exactly?
Well, like I said, going through that and hearing take your test, kind of led me to understand that. Because the truth of the matter is, I remember being in grad school, and the professors just like talking, sitting there for 4 hours, right? After having worked a long day from 6 to 10 in the evening, right? Just kind of hearing the professor just speak and speak and speak. But then comes that day of the test. And he says nothing.
That's right.
You're not even allowed to ask him a question.
Yeah.
Anything, does he have the knowledge? Absolutely. He's the professor. He's taught you this material for the most part, right? You're not allowed to ask him anything. He does not respond at this time. He's silent.
Yeah.
It's like, do the best that you can, take a test. And then you have no other choice than to gather everything that you have learned and sit there and take your test.
That's right.
But there's one great thing about all of this. It's that this is an open book test.
Whoa. Say that again. It's a what?
It's an open book test. I don't ever remember the last time. I've never had an open book test in grad school or even in my undergrad. Never. No open book test, guys. But this test, the life test, is an open book test.
Yeah.
You can refer back to individuals that may have gone through trials and tribulations and how God was silent.
Yep.
Right? Or asleep at that. Right? In a boat. He was with them. He was with them. That's the key. He was with them.
Yep.
But he was like asleep. And it just like, he was
they were like,
in the face.
One day having a conversation, they were like, how dare you? How dare he fall asleep? How dare we be going through a storm right now, but he's asleep. He's asleep. He's chilling.
Yeah, but he wakes up and just does what he does. He calms the storm.
That's right.
He calms the storm.
That's right.
In an instant.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that it's any different.
No.
Today than it was hundreds of years ago. When we really think about that.
Well, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, man. So, the bottom line is you're taking a test. Whatever you're going through today, it's a test. But you have a book, right? It's an open book test, as Linda said. And you have the opportunity to go in there and look historically on what's happened, because if he's the same yesterday, today, and forever, then guess what? Whatever he did, if he did it before, he's going to certainly do it again. And you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. You just got to really refer back to the manual, refer back to the opportunity that he has given us to look at historically, to tap into his spirit. Probably about a month ago, you talked to me, and we've talked about this for many years. Lynn, you talk a little bit about plugging into the power source. What does that mean to you? What does plugging into the power source mean?
Well, I love to use analogies. That's my whole thing. And, I always say you can go and purchase an appliance, right? And, this appliance can cause you, can run you thousands of dollars, right? And it's worth thousands of dollars.
It's great. It's a great product.
Because it's intended to do multiple things.
Yep.
Right? And it's great. You buy it in the store. Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful, right? You paid a lot of money for it. You read the description and, it just has so many functions. And then you take it and you bring it home. But guess what? You can open it up. You can place it right in front of the outlet, right? Looking pretty. But if you don't plug it into the source, it's worthless. It will not do what it was originally intended to do. It's just going to be a nice looking appliance.
Yep. Not plugged in, no electricity, no power.
Yeah. And that's the key. You need power. So as an individual, you need power. You need to be able to be connected to the power source. And without it, obviously God doesn't make any junk, but you're gonna go through the motions and feeling useless and feeling as if, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what the point is of life. I mean, you're gonna start having all these different kind of emotions because you're not connected to the power source.
Yeah.
And I've learned to always be connected to the power source.
Yeah, but let's be real, right? Even sometimes when you're connected to the power source, you're still going to go through some of those feelings, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're human.
Right.
You get up in the morning, you're like, wow, I don't really want to do this today. I don't really want to pray. I don't really want to, connect. I really don't want to open my word. But, there's something to be said when you decide to just tap in. When you decide to, maybe it's not reading the entire book. Maybe it's just reading a paragraph. Maybe it's just a verse of the day. And maybe you meditate on that for the rest of the day. And you just ask God to just talk to you and kind of just, guide you in that day. Just be with you, right? Sometimes you don't need somebody to talk to you or talk at you or do anything, right? They just need to be with you. Mm-hmm. And that's something you've always talked about. Sometimes you don't need to do that. You just need to be with something. Be with somebody. They don't always have to be giving you advice. They don't always have to be doing anything. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. Yeah. So I can imagine when you go into that garage and you're having your conversations, You know, he might not be talking back, but he's there. He's listening. He's with you. And it's amazing, man. You know, I hope that this message today is just something that resonates with you, even if it's a few minutes, even if you just got one piece of it. You know, we're excited to be able to do this. It's not going to be perfect. We're doing this in our home. We're just off the cuff, organic. There's no script. We're going to talk about testimonies. We're going to talk about, you know, little testimonies, man. I'm talking about like, yo, think about this. I'm going to give you a testimony about Nathan's hot dogs, yo. Nathan's hot dogs. She's laughing. She knows what I'm talking about. Nathan's hot dogs. And when you think about that, God could do something so small as Nathan's hot dogs. And that's a testimony to you. We're going to break that one down for you and show you some even greater things that God has done in our lives and why we are the way we are. No matter what comes, no matter what happens, we continue to have faith that it's always going to work out, and it's always going to work out the way God wants it to be. You know why? Because no matter what, God is in control. Hey, at Bronx Underdog, follow me on Instagram. At Linda Agosto, follow her on Instagram. Go to Apple Music, download her music. It's inspirational. Actually, if you go to Reverb Nation, you can get her music for free. Go do your thing. All right. Appreciate you guys listening today, and we hope to share more of these coming up soon. Later.
Bye.